I'll be the Finance Games, and I'm going to be doing part one of what if Luffy had the Orb Fruit. Now, if you think about it, this Devil Fruit's going to be a little bit too OP. Now, when I say the Orb Fruit, I don't mean he can, like, like 6 paths of pain or 6 paths, but, orb, no. So basically how the Orb Fruit is, it's kind of like the Op Fruit, it's not the Op Fruit. So he can take, your heart, he can take your liver, your, anything inside of your body. As long as he puts an orb around it. He can teleport you somewhere by surrounding you with the orb. He can surround himself with the orb. He can teleport basically any of the elements in that orb. He can heat up the orb, and he can cool down the orb. And he can teleport things and weapons to the orb. I know that's kind of OP. Right? Summit? Hello? Okay. So yeah, this Delphin is pretty OP. It's actually stronger than Lonsdale Fruit, and also, if he puts you in the orb, he can heal you. So yeah, this Devil Fruit is a little bit too OP, but we'll deal with it. And I just heard, I'm watching a BDA Law video, and he's talking about how Kuma, if what he's saying, I do agree with some of it, but I also do think what he's saying is kind of wrong, because I agree with the hockey. If you condense it in one place, it's stronger, because maybe it's like a spreading thing around your body and you can't fully spread it around your body, it'll just be thinner. But if Kuma touches Kaido, it's kind of gonna be like that Law situation where if you touch me, I'm not really gonna get teleported anywhere, to tell you the truth. Oh, and he can also take away pain. He can't reflect anything back. So, yeah, this Devil Fruit is pretty axe. We see a young raven-haired boy is on his ship with the rest of his crew. And not the rest of his crew. This is Eni's lobby. They're gonna go save Robin. But he meets up with a man. His name is Rob Lucci. Luffy looks at him and he says, "I'm going to get my teammate back. He does not have the Gama Gama no Mi. I do not know how he survived Smoker, or what's his name. Let's just say Dragon saved him against what's his name, Crocodile." So yeah. Well, no, because this Delphin's pretty hacked. So yeah, of course he could defeat both of them. As Luffy then rushes at Rob Lucci. Rob Lucci thinking that Luffy is just a little push off. Then Luffy teleports seemingly behind him. As Luffy then brings his hand out and he smashes it into Rob Lucci's face. Rob Lucci jumps back as he says, shouldn't have underestimated you. As then Rob Lucci then goes rushing at Straw Hat Luffy. Luffy then creates the orb around Rob Lucci. As Rob Lucci's still running, his body then starts to freeze as he starts to heat it up by himself. But then it then starts to get hotter and hotter and hotter. And his body, he can't cool it down. He then tries to, whatever, out of there. And then all of a sudden he sees Luffy, who, let's just say he's taken a couple of hits now that he's not rubber, who takes out all of his pain and puts it inside of Lucci. Lucci's body then starts to go berserk. As Luffy then puts the orb around his heart, making the orb smaller and smaller, crushing Rob Lucci's heart. As then Rob Lucci is now being suffocated as he then falls to his knees. Luffy, just like Gaara, then takes this chance as he teleports Rob Lucci's heart right next to him and steps on it. I know this is a little bit dark for Luffy. And for killing the strongest CP9 number, Luffy is going to get a bounty of like 620 million. Yeah, not really that high. Well, I guess you could call it high because like was he the Grail or was he still inside the East? But I don't know. So Impel Down goes easier for Luffy. Now Sabodi. I actually want to talk about Sabodi. He actually defeats the CP4, I think. Uh, he actually defeats Kuma, and then when it comes on to Kuma, he defeats him too. And then it then comes on to Kizaru. Now there's no way Luffy's gonna defeat Kizaru because in this one Luffy's not as creative because well number one he don't got hockey. But his attacks can actually hit Kizaru. Like the heart taking out attack, that can actually hit Kizaru. When Kizaru turns into light, oh, he can actually isekai Kizaru right over water, but then Kizaru can fly really fast, so that's another factor. And then he can try to heat it up, but Kizaru's light. The only thing that can really work against Kizaru is teleport, is like taking out his heart and crushing it, but Kizaru's way too fast and he's not going to let you do that. And then there's also the fact that he has to use up a lot of energy if he wants to teleport Kizaru. And then there's also the fact, I know, and then there's also the fact that he can't touch Kizaru to give him his pain. The only thing that's going to work against Kizaru are the elements, which Kizaru most likely has high tolerance. Like, if you punch him, he doesn't really care. If you hockey punch him, he can deal with that. It's just like a regular punch from a regular human that you get every day, probably, for some of you. So, yeah, that entire punch, like, Luffy is still going to lose and comes to the realization that he's not strong enough to defeat people on this level like Kizaru. So, the way they're going to escape now is actually, he defeated Kuma, but at the same time he didn't defeat Kuma. So while he's fighting Kizaru, Kuma is going to isekai them away, and then Luffy's gonna smash his fist in Kuma, but Kuma barely touched his finger and isekais him away, and we didn't get the Kuja pirate scene. So yeah, Luffy don't really get hurt by the Kuja pirates because it ain't matter about your bows, bro. Like, I can literally teleport your bows behind you, and so think twice before you shoot those bows, you know what I mean? But I also forgot to say this. He can't just pop orbs out of nowhere. Like, they have to like fully encase the object to teleport them, or if they don't do that, they have to encase a part of the object. But he can't take off limbs. He can actually take off your head now that I think about it. Yeah, but he can't take off like long limbs like arms and legs. But he can take off your head, like anything round or in that type of circular angle. So Luffy teleports himself behind, I forgot who the character is supposed to be, and he kicks her right in the back. I just forgot her name. When Hancock comes and her two sisters, Luffy just stands there as he teleports them right below. Like, when he sees the entire thing. Wait, sorry, I gotta do something. Okay, we're back. When he sees the entire thing about the spikes, he then teleports both of them instantly to the spikes, and as they then go falling down to the spikes in their snake form. Now Luffy's not gonna kill them, but he's gonna teleport them back. It's just that they're gonna like fall on each other, and yeah, Luffy's just gonna kick one of them in the face. So yeah. So then Boa Hancock's gonna try and fight Luffy, and she comes with her glorious kick of beauty on Luffy. Dang. And then, Luffy dodges as she then sends some of her heart arrows at Luffy. Now, this is where it's gonna get cold. Luffy teleports those arrows behind Hancock, stabbing into herself. And she says, because I'm the user, it doesn't work on me. But after she says this, Luffy gives her a good knock in the head. Like I'm talking about a Garp Din John Chow. I think that's his name. like a good knock in the head, like ah my head, something like that. And they still like become friends and all that stuff, like good stuff. So we didn't make it to um Marineford, where Luffy really sees he's just a pig compared to these Chads. Oh my gosh! So if if Kuzan fires off a hockey up ice attack at Luffy, that would mean, oh my god! Now I'm just thinking about that, and that's like pretty OP. Uh, yeah, that's pretty OP. Oh, and he can also fly on his orb. Nah, that's just too OP. As Kuzan then throws like things. Like when Luffy arrives, Akainu instantly throws like because Luffy's like a bigger deal. Let's just say that his bounty is 670 now, and Luffy just teleports them right over to my boy Akainu. And one comes from the left, one comes from the right, nearly smashing Akainu in the head. But then Akainu then rushes at Luffy as he fires a ginormous fist at Luffy. Luffy then teleports lightning out of nowhere, slamming into Akainu's fist. But you really gonna think that lightning is gonna do anything to Akainu? So yeah, Luffy's not really gonna have the leverage of defeating Akainu because he can't defeat any of the admirals. Like the vice admirals, he can fight the vice admirals because they don't have Logias. But he can't do anything to a Logia right now. Except for teleport them, take out their hearts and stuff. And their head. I'm just thinking about that. So he then takes off Kizaru's head. And some beams that Kizaru fired, he then fires them at Kuzan. And Kuzan's starting to be careless. And he gets hit by one of these. And then Akainu fires a ginormous blast at him, and he then teleports this right over to Kizaru because he reattached his head, like right when that happened, and it smashed into Kizaru. And then Kizaru and Kuzan both fired beams, being mad, and then he sent them straight to Akainu. And these actually hit Akainu, but they didn't really do anything. But then Whitebeard came out of nowhere and slapped Akainu right in the gut. And then with the back of his Kanabo, no, not a Kanabo, I forgot what it's called. He then slaps Kuzan right in the back. And then Marco comes and he slams his face and his legs into Kizaru's face. So yeah. This wasn't really a story, this was just me talking and just going throughout the story like other people do, like who aren't official, whatever. So yeah. Hey, it's kind of like I'm talking like Tyler. He didn't really talk about fights that much. So yeah,